weirdo crooner, old-fashioned pants waist. You know, he wears his pants up at like the Frank Sinatra place on his waist. It just bugs me.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I'm Ramona Ramirez Higgins. Hi.
Hi, and
Hi.
I feel like we both need therapy more than ever after watching this episode of Summer House. Holy shit. It's going from dark to just like subterranean, nightmarish, no light with Kyle and Amanda. I mean, they're bright spots, but those two are taking me out.
It was ugly, accurate, scary, and maybe the blessing, believe it or not, is the fact that it is typically dynamics like that are 100% reserved for behind closed doors. You present one way to the outside world, and behind closed doors, that's what you see. But in this case, it's on TV.
Well, but even that, like, you really see how far this has gone when Amanda tells West, like, oh, that was nothing. Saying fuck you and you dumb fucking bitch is nothing. Oh my God. She's like, that was tame. That was not. And by the way, I loved West in this episode. Thank God for West. Like, conflict avoidant until like his sense of justice has been activated. And he's like, oh no, absolutely not. I'm not going to bed because this is wrong and gross.
Yeah.
I really appreciated his level of being bothered.
I did too. I did
thought it
too.
was really valuable.
And I don't know if this is appropriate or not. I've been asking myself, what's making you think this? Why can't you just see this person as someone showing up to support his friend? And it could be that. And then I also said, after seeing West's intense reaction, like, oh, is there something to the rumors that they have been hooking up?
I mean, who knows? But honestly, I'm still at the place of like, I literally only care about that for Sierra.
Yeah,
If her feelings weren't involved, I'd be like, sure, great.
exactly.
Get over someone by getting under someone else, whatever. I don't care. I don't know. I honestly feel like their relationship is deeper than that. Like, he really did stick up for her the way a family member would.
I
Not to
agree.
say there isn't attractive, because they're both, you know, she's gorgeous, he's cute. Like, I could, of course, but I wonder if they both value what that relationship is too much to just start like looking at each other's bathing suit parts. Like,
Totally. And it's not a criticism or a negative kind of like a mark against either one out of them.
except for Sierra, I would have to hate them both.
Right.
I'd be like,
I just
you
mean
guys.
that I'm not criticizing West or like, oh, West, it's you only react like that because you care, because you like her. You don't just care about her because she's your friend. I absolutely do believe that West showed his, in my opinion, in my observation, his full-on Midwestern heart in that episode. Like, that is a ride or die friend. If he really cares about you, like, he cares 100%. But it just made me wonder, like, wow, he really cares about her a lot.
No, but it's also like, I think, again, you and I were talking about this before, how like when you're raised in an alcoholic household, like we're not part of the group of people who go like, why is everyone acting normal the next
You're
day?
right.
It's so fucked up. So I think people like West and Jesse are like shell shocked
Totally.
when a husband says to a wife in front of people, fuck you, and then follows it up with, you dumb fucking bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, that really is, that's shocking.
It was
Like,
shocking.
it would be as shocking to see him like kick her or something. You know what I mean? It's so violent. Those words are so unnecessary and so cruel. Kyle is just lost, man.
He's very
I
sick.
He is. Like, I'm legitimately worried, and he's like out there being an idiot right now. And like, I don't know if he'll be someone who finds a bottom and gets help. Like, I just keep looking at Carl and going like, it's so possible. You can so turn this around, Kyle. Like, at any moment you can have like a peaceful, happy life. But he don't want it. I also
Mm-mm.
forget that. Some people don't want what I think they should have.
Yeah.
He does
That's
not
a
want a
really good
peaceful, happy
reminder.
life. He manufactures his own misery and he fucking luxuriates in it.
He
That's
does.
where he gets his energy, is by being a victim and a baby and a look at me 45, 43-year-old man. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, almost
Ugh.
44. Oh, God, how repulsive. Yes. So, in case you didn't know, we're here talking about Summer House. This is season 10, episode 8. The episode's called Sleeping on It. I don't know why Bailey isn't there. I don't know why Levi isn't there.
There's no
All
room because stupid Lindsay's there and Dara's there. And so they had to cycle some people
Do you
out.
think that that's why? So that
I think
someone,
so, right?
oh, that's sad. But I also think it was a blessing in disguise. The whole adage, everything happens for a reason. I really think that had Bailey been witness to what Kyle did to Amanda, to this behavior, I think it would have been a whole other level of re-traumatization for her. And so I do think it's a blessing in disguise that she was not there for this to happen. I think that would have been really, really hard on her. I mean, we've
Mhm.
already seen them the whole season, Levi and Bailey, watching from a distance, wide-eyed, as Mom, Amanda, and Kyle Dad have their dysfunctional patterns play out in front of them. Like, what do we do? Like, that would have been really, really catastrophically bad emotionally for Bailey, in my opinion. So I was glad she wasn't there. And also, I'm not really stoked on how things are being translated, both by Lindsay and Bailey. That just really bummed me out. Anyway, we'll get there.
We will, but I blame Lindsay.
Oh,
Lindsay
for
knows what
sure.
she's doing. She's producing, she's hanging out the new girl to dry, and it's going to work. So, congratulations, Lindsay. Great producing.
Yeah.
So, we start this episode finishing up the dinner where we left off last week, and then everybody comes home. Well, they go out to the club, of course, but then they all come home and they are in Club Send It for a long time. We get a full sequence. So, Kyle's big bitch sesh at the end of this is like, I'm all alone. Everybody ditched me. I'm like, okay, but they were with you for a long time. We saw different images of dance circles and different people in there, and KJ sliding on the floor and Sierra sliding on the floor, and everybody What do you want, dude? How much is enough? Answer: none, because you're an addict. So like, there will never be enough. Not enough attention, not enough love, not enough. I don't know what the hell this man wants, but like, the whole episode opens with an extended sequence in Club Send It with Kyle on the ones and twos and everybody dancing around. Okay. Like, so this whole thing with Amanda, it's baseless.
It's his story. He's really in that. He's really in that story. He's in his story. And it was really uncomfortable to watch. And it was such a good reminder to me as well that I can also descend into my story, like 0 to 60, 0 to plummet into the story that I tell myself about why something's happening. I'm being treated like this because of X. It's because I'm a piece of shit. And this always I'll never, just whatever the words that your story are, whatever those well-worn grooves are in your thinking, Kyle's were activated. And it's so uncomfortable. It was just such a good reminder. This is why I love to watch these shows. So much about myself I can learn from this episode.
Yeah. So they danced for like an appropriate amount of time. And then most of them moved on to the next thing. They went outside and they were all just hanging out. And then, so in this episode, I don't know what's wrong with me. I really turned on a couple people hard in this episode. And Ben was already on my list. And this episode, I was just like, get out of here. Because in the backyard, so again, He went out of his way to storm upstairs and, chastise Bailey for saying, "You think I flirt with Amanda? No, I don't." Cut to a conversation where Amanda's like, "Do you ever choke someone during sex?" And he's like, "I'll do it gentle if they ask." She's like, "I've never had angry sex." You don't have this conversation with someone and expect people to go like, "Yeah, no, they were basically talking about the weather." No, they're not. They're talking about specific mechanics of sex they like, sex they've had. We all know that conversation. It is designed to activate parts of your system and the person that you're talking to's system. So, whatever,
In
Ben.
in Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, I learned that conversations like that fall under a concept referred to as intrigue. You know somewhere it's titillating. It can start something. It's not news, weather, sports. It's very much the opposite of that. It's very much to see if you can get that reaction from somebody. And yeah, anyway, I mean, I think that there's probably a normal amount of
Yes.
we're drunk and we're friends and we're young and we're like, sex, but then there's also
But if you're going to storm upstairs in
boundary.
your tuxedo and yell
Yeah.
at someone about it, you better not do this.
Very
sir.
fair. Very,
you better
very
stay
fair.
on. You better make sure your side of the street is spick and span, sparkling clean.
Yes.
Otherwise, what you come off as is a misogynistic asshole. That's my takeaway.
I can see that.
And what he has to say later about Kyle, I'm like, Ben, you sure make a lot of allowances for someone who did something as the other people, and I really, again, appreciated West's degree of offense where he was like, there is nothing Kyle could do ever to make up for what I witnessed just last night. And I'm like,
Yeah. So while Sierra and West are outside like schoolyard flirting, there's a Yeezy being flipped at someone's back. And just, it was cute. I thought it was adorable. And I'm still on low-key pins and needles wanting to see what's going to happen with them this summer, and also completely in support if nothing happens. And if it just ends at this flirtation and them like trying to figure it out so that nothing gets messier, whatever. But so while everyone's outside having a good time, possibly intriguing, whatever, Kyle is inside muttering to himself. He's carrying around a Bluetooth speaker. He's wearing this. I'm old enough to remember the Imperial Margarine brand commercials where it was like dun 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 Imperial, and someone was like this crown like Kyle was wearing would appear on the plate. Anyway, he says, "I just want to curl up in a fucking ball." He's just descending into his story and so feeling sorry for himself. And in his confessional, he says, "Amanda laughing and having a blast with Jesse and Wes, and I'm just like literally all by myself. They kind of ditched me, and right now I don't know how else to explain just how isolated I feel by my wife." Bro.
And this, in 12-step rooms, they say we manufacture our own misery. Kyle, they're right outside the door. They were just there with you. But again, to me, it's evidence of like the progressive nature of this illness of like the highs are shorter and the lows are darker. They were just in there. He's unplugging the speakers that everyone had just been dancing around to. And now he's like, nobody likes me. I'm all alone. They ditched me. My wife. It's like, Kyle, oh my God, this man is unwell.
He's very unwell. He's extremely unwell. So at 2:01 a.m., as Amanda is telling everybody outside they should go in and go to bed, Kyle comes outside carrying his little Bluetooth speaker and starts blasting music. He's awkwardly dancing and everyone's kind of looking at him. And it just reminded me of that dynamic when the alcoholic is in their cups, they're past the point of no return. They are on the spectrum from tipsy to passing out. He's sloppy, he's slurring, he's the alcoholic holding court and holding people fucking hostage. And it's awful. And Sierra says rightly, "All right, I've had enough," trying to set a boundary and reel things in.
It's fair. It's 2 a.m., dude. Read the room. Everyone's tired. There's not enough for Kyle. There's just not enough. And like, it's so, yeah, like you said, the holding court thing, it's just such a high demand sickness.
It is.
It asks so much of everyone in its orbit. I felt sad for him when he was dancing, but then obviously his reaction, which is to slur to Amanda, hey, Amanda, way to support me. Support you? It's 2 a.m. We already danced in your club. It's 2 a.m. actually is the end of that sentence. Like, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
It's not about supporting you. Also, you're in the backyard with a Bluetooth speaker. You're not doing anything. He's so irrational. It's upsetting, obviously.
It is. I mean, the one thing I kept wanting to say over and over throughout this entire scene was trying to discuss anything rationally with someone who is this drunk is not going to end well for anybody. And I understand that impulse to want to get in and sort it out. But when someone is that intoxicated, it is impossible. And it is a fool's errand. It will not end well. It might end worse, but it won't end well. Nothing's going to get fixed. Everyone just get your, grab your Gatorades and your respective Advils for the morning and go the fuck to sleep.
And
because rationalizing with someone like Kyle in that state is not going to work at all.
And that, I think we could really see Amanda, that conditioning is now in her.
Yeah.
Where she just keeps telling everyone, it's fine. Don't take up this fight. Let me go to bed. I'll cry. It's fine. I cry all the time. And she doesn't even fight back when he calls her these disgusting names. She's like, okay, I'm that. Okay. It's just, you're right. And that is sort of the way to do it, which is just to like play dead and survive one more day. It's just so, the darkness.
It's so dark. It's that Twilight Zone sick place where even if the sun is shining bright, there's the cloud over you. So she tells him, listen, I'm so supportive right now. And he's like, no, you're not. Again, a fool's errand for Amanda to ask the group if I'm supportive and then ask Kyle, did you not say I'm the least supportive wife around? And he just mutters, fuck you, and walks in the house. West is disgusted immediately. He shouts at Kyle after him. Everyone is shocked. Sierra immediately moves to Amanda to comfort her. And Amanda goes into full Al-Anon mode. It is wired in her body to react this way. Her sympathetic nerve system is activated, and she's just reassuring the group, I'm okay. She tells them, we're all going to go to bed. We're going to act like nothing happened, and we're all going to celebrate Kyle's birthday tomorrow. Like, she's in full survival mode. This is what you do. God.
But it's also like you really see how it's a cycle. And I relate so much to you. Oh, okay, it's going to be this kind of night. And you just click into like, here's what we do.
Yep.
I'm going to say I'm fine. You guys pretend this didn't happen. Tomorrow, we start fresh. We never mention it. We don't touch it because it's a fucking third rail and we'll all die. Bye.
This is a well-employed coping skill that has come from desperation and need.
And it was lovely to see that there are some people in this group. And I actually really think West helped Amanda see how crazy bad this is by just relentlessly being like, no.
Yeah, he refused to accept it, which is great.
Understandable, because it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. And again, I turned on Ben hard in this episode. Wes did such a good job of just communicating with Kyle, with Amanda, what the problem is here. And meanwhile, Ben's like, do you know how to use the soda maker?
That's his way.
He
know. Can't confront it. He can't confront
and
the
it's
things
2
head
a.m.
on. Yeah.
And he eventually said, like, as he was walking away, he said something meaningful to her. But I'm so happy for Amanda that West's instincts took over and he heard the words fuck you come out of a husband's mouth toward his wife. And he just goes, Kyle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, it's like telling a dog, don't shit on your owner. It's so weird.
Exactly. So Wes tells everyone he's going to go talk to Kyle while Sierra is telling Amanda, listen, it is not okay to tell your wife, fuck you. And Amanda again says, it's his birthday party tomorrow. We're going to have fun and enjoy ourselves. It is what it is. We don't have to talk about it.
But that line, I was like, oh, she's already planning her exit. I think this summer she had a sense, like, if things don't drastically change, it's over. because
Mm-hmm.
it's been 10 years now, and it's getting worse, never better. This summer is way worse than it's ever been, including just the logistical shit of being a DJ.
Oh my
It's
God.
nuts, this guy.
Yeah, it is. In her confessional, Amanda says, "What's the point? Literally, what is the point of talking about this? It's only going to make things worse. He's not going to take accountability. He's not going to apologize for what he did. I know that it's wrong the way he speaks to me. I'm fully aware of that. I'm not okay with it. I just know that having a conversation about it isn't going to go anywhere." All 100% true.
And a healthy attitude.
Very.
Like, clearly she's in therapy and she knows, yeah, that she's surrendered
She surrendered,
to what's available to her with
resigned.
Kyle, and it's not enough.
Yes. Yep. So Ben is in Club Send It with Kyle trying to figure out, where did the fuck you come from? He says, "It came out of nowhere." And Kyle tells him, "Well, that's how I felt
Wow. Oh, so that's okay. I feel lots of things all the time,
all the
and
time."
I don't say them because either I care about people or it's not worth it at 2 a.m. to tell someone fuck you. Maybe I'll just go to bed and see if I'm still feeling fuck you energy in the morning. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
not. But that's just me.
Oh, God. And then Kyle rationalizes his behavior like he's trying to sell Ben on why he said the fuck you. And he says, "How much did you see Amanda talking to me today? She said 5 words to me all night. All I do is get shut down." Over the last 10 seasons, we've all seen Kyle's pattern. Like, he does not eat carbs during the week. He works out a lot during the week. And then on the weekends, we always see him, I don't want to say binge eating. But he does like to go at it with the carbs that he doesn't let himself eat during the week when he's wasted. So he's got some, I don't know, a leftover pizza or something in his mouth. And again, he's telling himself and Ben his story. She abandons me. She ignores me. She doesn't pay attention to me. It's so gross.
It is, and you really see how he thinks that is a good enough justification to say fuck you to your
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
To him, that does it. So whatever. Then we get this scene with West, who's followed Amanda into her bathroom, and she's literally just gonna do her skincare routine and get into bed. And she says, "I'm fine." And he says, objectively, nothing happened to provoke that. I've never seen him do something completely unprovoked. And Amanda says, "Thank you for understanding," and then breaks down crying. And this is all like off camera. It's just their mics capturing it. And later, West reports that was 20 minutes of her sobbing to him. So like, this is a breakdown a long time coming. And I think often when you're under a roof, isolated with the alcoholic, you're just concerned about your safety and survival. But when someone else is there to say to you, like, you didn't do anything. Like, yes, Amanda and Kyle have an absolutely toxic dynamic that both of them participate in. But in that moment, that's not okay at all. And I think it meant a lot to Amanda to have someone say that, because Kyle just has reason after reason why it is okay. So either you start to believe those reasons or you get tired by hearing them. So you just shut down. But Wes gave her the opportunity to like take that in and let some stuff out.
Totally. And I mean, she even said the next day to Lindsay, "I can't remember the last time I cried. And I cried 3 times last night." Again, I'm 100% projecting here, but had that conversation, had Kyle told Amanda, "Fuck you," what I'm trying to say is that we saw that happen in front of the friends last night. I'm thinking about all the times it's happened when they've been in their apartment together. And if someone isn't there, if a third party isn't there to talk to Amanda about it and say, "Hey, that was not cool. What the fuck?" I know what I would probably have done is like grab my phone, get under the covers, and just start scrolling in order to not deal with my feelings. Go to bed to not deal with my feelings. Something like that. Some coping skill would have just like shoved themselves into the driver's seat and said, "I got this. We don't have to feel these uncomfortable feelings. We don't have to feel this pain and humiliation right now at all." West wasn't going to let her do that. He didn't even know that's what he was doing, helping her not avoid her feelings. So she was able to cry because West wasn't going to let her get away with not. And he didn't even know it.
Yeah. And it's like such a and I try to bypass it all the time, but it's such an
Mm-hmm.
important part of the healing process. And Al-Anon, they talk about the 3 A's that happen in order to bring you to recovery, which are awareness, which Amanda has, acceptance, and then action. But
Mm-hmm.
I too am like Amanda, and I'm in the camp that wants to go from awareness to action. It's just like, that happened. Great. I see it. I understand it's terrible. Let's move on. How do we get through this? Great. We all pretend it doesn't happen. We do the birthday party and we keep it moving, as opposed to this really profound step of acceptance, of just sitting in the reality of who this person is and what they're capable of. And you don't have to know an outcome, but just like collapsing into West and crying with him, I think probably brought her more clarity than any like action steps could have done.
I agree. Totally.
So Kyle now enters the bedroom as West is exiting the bathroom. And West just immediately says to Kyle, tell her you're sorry, because you can hear Amanda crying in the bathroom. And Kyle, God, he goes, nothing happened outside. And West is like, you said fuck you for no reason. And Kyle says, well, she gave me fuck you eyes. And West is like, no, she didn't. And he's like kind of raising his voice and whining like a kid, which
Raising
I
his
also,
arms. Like,
yeah.
go apologize, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I also relate to that little kid energy of like, come on, like anyone can see this. It's
Yeah.
like, don't gaslight my ass.
Exactly.
Kyle walks into the bathroom and Amanda goes, hey, I'm just getting ready for bed. In this chilling, like Stepford wifey, like, let's just get through this place
Yep.
again. And then Kyle, takes Wes' instruction and goes, I'm sorry for saying fuck you. Should have ended it there. But he goes on, just doesn't feel like you paid any attention to me. I don't feel like you make any effort with me. And again, I notice Amanda's tactic, which I wonder if it's therapist directed, where she just asks questions. She's like, and what do you feel like making an effort would look like? And I can't even remember how he answers. Conversing, just slurring some bullshit.
He says, just conversing with me, just talking with me.
What kind of an invitation to talk to you is dancing around with your Bluetooth speaker and subsequently saying you're the least supportive wife, fuck you? Who is going to enter that conversation, Kyle? Get over yourself. It takes two, dumbass. I'm not going to, if someone pulls out a chair that just has nails sticking up out of it and says, have a seat, I'm not going to have a seat. That chair is going to put rusty nails up my ass. No. So pull out a better chair, Kyle.
Plus, like what you said earlier, it's never going to be enough. He is
Right.
a vessel of unmet need. And he's filling it with alcohol, DJs, accolades,
Young girls.
all of these things that are nothing. They're not real, because he has to be the source of his own validation. But that is not something that he is willing to even consider, because it's way harder and it requires way more fucking work and way more emotional regulation than he is capable of right now.
And stillness. He's
Stillness,
He's
yes.
so addicted to being in motion and achieving and suffering and stressing. And like that is his addiction too, I think.
Absolutely.
And it's just much easier to blame everyone else for your misery. You didn't do it right. You're not doing enough. You. I do everything. I'm always doing shit.
Yep.
I work out. I have a business. I DJ to make money for my business. Like, he's exhausting. I'm so tired, and I just watch him once a week, a couple months a year. Like, I literally can't imagine what 10 years of Kyle Cook has done to Amanda's like body, mind, and spirit. Her body
I
looks
can't
great,
either.
but her
I
mind
can't.
and spirit must be suffering.
So in his confessional, Wes says, listen, with friends, I've definitely been conflict avoidant, but I have no choice but to be a part of the Kyle and Amanda mix because we live together. I care about both of them, and I want them both to be happy. And if Kyle's being a dickhead, who has Amanda's back? I really, really appreciated this perspective from him and looking at him as a full-on guardian angel in this situation.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I think West is actually like selling it short in a way. Like, I think it's only happened to me a few times in my life, but like, this feels like it's a calling for him. Like, this is part of West's purpose in his life because he can't let it go. He can't live his own life comfortably if just takes his hands off and steps back. So he's being called to do something that he doesn't normally do, is to engage in a conflicted situation in an effort to like tend to someone in need. And that's both of them. They are both in need. They are both struggling. They both need a way out.
And Amanda, meanwhile, is still trying to have a meaningful conversation with Kyle. She asks him what his expectations are. He tells her, instead of hanging out with every one of my friends, maybe you should just hang out with me. Oh, my God. Oh, God, you're 43. You're 43.
And it is that like alcoholic thing, addict thing of like the goalposts keep moving because she
Always.
says, that's not what you said. That's not what started this fight. And then it appears she catches herself and it's just like, this is a dead end. Oh God. Because she said, that's not what you said. And he says, I'm just letting you know how it is. And that's when she says, okay, Kyle, let me know how it is, which to me is her like attempt at gracefully exiting this situation. But that's not going to work with a riled up addict who says, you're a fucking dumbass bitch. And as she exits the bedroom, she says, you're right. I'm a dumbass bitch, Kyle. And I don't think she expected that Ben and West are standing in the hallway. So they heard her echo back what Kyle had just said to her. And they are both standing dead still in stunned silence. Like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, he literally just said, fuck you. We've all had a conversation about how fucked up that is. And you're now exiting the bedroom reporting that he said, you're a fucking dumbass bitch. Way to check all the boxes on that one, Kyle. Wow. If you'd thrown a CUNT in there, we'd really have had the hat trick.
Exactly. The trifecta, right.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting, like during that conversation, she's like, okay, you want me to hang out with you while you're hanging out with all the random people, the hangers on, like when he's DJing. And Kyle says, I'm only hanging out with those strangers because you literally ignore me. This is what that term rewriting history comes up. He's going to use anything to turn it around.
I mean, look, she does ignore him. She does talk shit about him. She is mean to him. But like, it does not excuse saying the whole point of this conversation is you saying, fuck you at 2 a.m. when I wouldn't stand up and dance around your Bluetooth speaker. They are not in a healthy dynamic. So Amanda has a big part in that. But tonight is a whole other level. And to hear her say this was tame is terrifying. If I'm her friend, I am now gravely concerned about her mental well-being.
Completely.
No wonder she was depressed.
Yeah, Ben and West are in shock. West goes to hug her and she pushes him away and says, I have to go make soda water. I'm fine. And she's just that. She's in full coping mode. She is in survival mode, coping mode. I've been there. And we cut to the bathroom where Kyle is alone and there slurring to himself. You ignore me all night long with our friends. You prefer our friends over me. Just
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, dude.
Honestly,
seriously.
Kyle, like if someone
Seriously.
just said in your face, fuck you, wouldn't you turn to anyone else in the space to hang out with them? Yeah.
And this is where Ben, his version of showing up for her is to say, hey, do you know how to work the soda stream maker? Because he is also so stunted emotionally, God bless, that's his best way of showing his support.
He sure had a lot to say when he was mad at Bailey.
He did.
In a moment when Amanda could have really used like, hey, I'm here. I support you. You're not alone tonight. He goes, do you know how to use the soda maker?
I know.
Fuck off,
I
idiot.
see it.
But again, I turned on him and like, I'm going to have he's got an uphill battle with me now, unfortunately.
It just shows me like I have been in such a defended space up until recently. I'm still not in a comfortable space, but at least it's shifted from being defended. That when I saw that scene happen between Ben and Bailey a couple episodes back, I was in such a like coping skill, protect myself in any cost mode that I was like, yep, okay, Ben, I get it, you know? And now that I have worked through that, thank God, or I don't want to say worked through it, I'm working through some stuff, but I'm no longer in that space of feeling ultra defended. It took a lot of crying to get over it.
Good for you.
And breathing, yeah.
That's acceptance,
It's
baby.
fucking excruciating, but
It is, but it's so worth it.
it is worth it. My point is that when I watched that scene, I was so defended in so much protective mode. I was giving Ben's behavior too much permission because I was projecting.
Well, and he gives Kyle a lot of leeway here in his confessional. Ben says, I've known him for a year. We've hung out a bunch. I've never seen this side of him ever, which scares the fuck out of me if I'm Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I know he's super stressed with Loverboy. And I think sometimes Amanda likes to push his buttons, and that keeps building into a tipping point, and then there's a blow up. And I was like, Ben. And fortunately, he ends it by saying, but nothing I've seen warrants a blow up like that. So great. Leave the first part out because, like, I don't know. At a certain point, it's like I don't know. And maybe it's just because of everything, like the dynamics in our country right now. I'm just like, if it can always be excused by she brought this on in some way with what she wore or what she said or what, then it will excuse anything. Like at a certain point, I don't need all this backstory. I don't care how.
Yeah.
Being an adult is stressful. I don't own Loverboy, but I have unbelievable stressors like everyone else who is so fortunate to hit 40 and beyond. That's life. I don't talk to people like this. And I'm grateful that I'm in therapy and 12-step rooms and all the things so that I am hopefully not at risk of ever becoming like this. But like, I also don't, Ben takes this line of reasoning a lot in this episode of like, yeah, but Loverboy. And I'm like, holy,
No.
if that can excuse a man's or anyone's hateful, violent language toward anyone, then we're ruined as a human race. Like it just
Right.
can't be that. You have to care about people more than you care about cans.
Oh my God. I know. So we cut to Wes in the bathroom with Kyle again, and Kyle is telling Wes, Amanda has spent more time with you than me in the last 6 months. And Kyle tries to tell Wes, she said something at the bar to me that would justify telling her, fuck you, but Wes isn't buying it. And
Also, just a reminder, Kyle's been DJing for the last 6 months, and he said he's been out of town and hasn't seen his wife. That's how the season opened,
yeah,
with him saying, I haven't seen her from January to June. So
yeah.
whose fault is that everyone else has more time with her? They're
And again,
around.
now this is also like the selfish thought of Kyle's brand of alcoholic. That selfishness, like, okay, well, I was busy for 6 months. Now it's
Right.
I'm deciding that I want to reconnect with my wife during our summer together, and that's my plan, and just assumes that like she'll want to be on that same plan as well.
Like she's
It's
just a
so
robot who powered
arrogant.
down when he left town and
Yeah.
just waited with her hands in her lap, not having any feelings, not having any reaction to him being gone, being drunk, being out all the time, being everything she begged him not to be in this marriage. You're right. It's just entitlement gone
So entitled, so self-centered,
wild.
so selfish, so arrogant, and so grandiose.
Yeah.
Not every alcoholic is like Kyle, but I have been in that dynamic with a Kyle brand of alcoholic, and it is butt fucking ugly.
I didn't act out with alcohol and drugs, but I acted out with other things. And my thinking followed the same lines. It was grandiose or complete despair.
Yeah,
Like I'm a total piece of shit, or like, why isn't everyone giving me what I want?
exactly.
I deserve it. It's like there's no humility, which is the whole point of the 12-step rooms, is to return you to a sense of humility, which brings you into a sense of community and belonging and peace. And like there's so much to access in that space. But I didn't have access to it when I was busy thinking I knew how my life should go. And the only way my life could go that way is if everyone else did what I said.
Oh my gosh.
And they're either doing it because I'm such a piece of shit, or they're not doing it because they're assholes.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no understanding of live and let live. There's no understanding of like,
Expectations.
let me get to know you and what you care about and how I can be supportive of you instead of just waiting for you to be supportive of me. Like, ick.
So Kyle is saying, like, with Amanda, it's always a fuck you, Kyle. But Wes is not letting him get away with this kind of thinking and says, but it's not, dude. This is your head. And Wes's tone of voice, he's like begging, he's pleading, he's imploring. And again, I want to just remind myself, everybody, you cannot reason with a drunk when they're drunk, and maybe not even when they're sober either. But I know where Wes is coming from, and it is a fool's errand. I feel so bad. I get it. And it just shows what a heart he has, that you're going to just try no matter what. And that's where the insanity goes down.
Exactly. And you
know?
don't know. Like, I didn't know until I went to therapy that when something is so obvious to me that a wrong has been, like an offense has been committed, why would I ever leave the conversation until the other person understands? Like, it's so bad what you did and it's so obvious. You have to see that. And I can't sleep until you see that. So I think it's his first encounter with, like you said, trying to rationalize with someone who is gone. He gone.
Kyle tells West she hates me. She doesn't talk to me. I'll sleep in another bed. I don't give a fuck. If you all don't fucking see the fact that she fucking hates me, then I don't know. I'm blind. I'm sorry. And West is like, don't apologize to me. I'm just telling you that shit's not going to help.
That was the perfect way to end the conversation.
Yeah.
And then Kyle continues to pity himself as West exits the bathroom. And I thought this was so sweet. West stops at a great distance from the bed and just says to Amanda, I love you, and text me if you need anything. And I believe that he probably had his phone, the ringer up on his pillow so that if something went left, he could help her. And she says, I'm sorry,
That
which
broke
is
me.
like the Al-Anon refrain,
Absolutely.
you know?
Exactly. Exactly. So the next morning, Saturday, August 2nd, it's a little before 9. Cass is waking up. Lindsay's FaceTiming Gemma. Then we have a confessional from Kyle where he says, which I didn't fucking believe it, there's no excuse to drop the F-bomb and say fuck you to your wife, but I'm only human and I can only go so long getting the cold shoulder and getting these small but steady jabs.
Okay, so there is an excuse, Kyle, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. So the whole first part of this is actually moot because you just said, wouldn't you? No, I wouldn't.
I used to think it was all in my head until I watched some of these summers back. So he's basically saying these things. He is probably sober while he's talking to a producer in his confessional. However much longer this is after they actually film this episode. I don't know what the timeline is between
Long
when they
enough
do
for
the
him
confessionals and
to be ashamed, or understand that other people are ashamed of him.
I heard no contrition.
None.
It was
It's her fault.
staggering.
She did this. She provoked him over all these
Exactly.
years of his suffering. And they do give us a montage of Amanda being a bitch. Like she's
But
being
only
really
2 summers ago. I mean, I sound like Kyle right now, but only 2 summers ago.
They're a bad match.
Yes.
I believe there is a partner for each of them out there. As my mom would say, in a romantic relationship especially, you should bring out the best in each other. Amanda and Kyle both have objectively great qualities that are dead and lost when they are together. And we get this montage of Amanda being rude. And like, I would take that personally if I was a decent person on the receiving end of it. But like, Kyle's not a decent person anymore. He's so yucky.
The clips they showed were all from 2 summers ago. This is now the 10th summer we're watching them together. And I've, watching the show from the beginning, we've seen all of Kyle's behavior. Again, this is not to rationalize Amanda's response that they have on camera starting back, 2 years ago for this clip. But this is the natural progression of what happens in an alcoholic dynamic. And so the fact that we weren't going back 10 summers, I think it was relevant. The way she's talking as of 2 summers ago wasn't what she was saying when she first started dating him.
But this, I would suggest, is how Al-Anon-ism progresses.
Absolutely.
To be
Yes,
an Al-Anon,
yes.
you're quiet, you put up with everything, you fold your hands in your lap, and you take it all, and you just weather it, and you cry to them, and you do everything you can to fix yourself and fix the relationship, and it's not their fault, they're right, it's my fault. Then you reach a breaking point where you're like, I've done everything that you've asked. Fuck you. This is a test of my patience. And then you start trying out saying weird, hateful shit. So I would suggest their diseases were progressing at the same rate.
Absolutely.
But Al-Anon is a sneaky, quiet little asshole. And everyone thinks you're a delight. And then everyone goes like, huh? And the record scratches and heads turn when you say anything slightly representative of the reality of your relationship situation. So yes, maybe it's only been 2 years that she's been saying stuff, but I bet if we went back, we would see this dynamic, this toxic dynamic growing on both sides from jump,
For sure. For sure. So he says, now I pick up on these jabs in real time. It doesn't even matter if we're having a good night. I still get jabbed. And it's just been piling up. It's one thing if you're in a funk, but if you're having a blast with everybody but me, it's just sad. 0 looking at himself, it's all external. And that was also my experience with an unsober alcoholic, was that it was everybody else's fault, all these external things that made it why I was acting like XYZ.
And
You know?
also, it's a lie. Last
Yeah.
weekend was Amanda's birthday, and he says, it doesn't even matter if we're having a good night, I still get jabbed. We just watched her birthday where she praised you for the gift. She called her mom to say what a good guy you are. She told you that her mom said, you're such a great guy. She sat on your lap and said, thank you for the thoughtful gift. You listened to me. Shut up. She didn't jab you once.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, it took a Cartier watch to get there, and that's not great. But that is a manifestation of both of you guys in this relationship. Like, you don't like each other. You don't anymore. You
Yeah.
love each other, but you do not like each other. And he's just lying. And I think the only truthful thing he said is, it's just sad. That's real. Sit in that, Kyle. Just be sad and let this go. Like, this is terrible. You're not going to win this relationship. You're not going to be right and get everything you want. No one does. That's life. Sorry about it. But, I think I'd said it before. I worry for him being out of this relationship because he's blamed Amanda for a decade for all of his dissatisfaction in life. And now, welcome to life, Kyle. It's dissatisfying unless you work hard on yourself and work hard to maintain healthy relationships. So, yikesies.
So we see KJ texting Dara, and he's saying he can't wait to see her, asking her ETA. She's like, I'm on my way. I'm going to see you soon. I just thought that was so sweet. Carl and Jesse come into Kyle and Amanda's room to collect Kyle because they're all going to go to the gym. And Jesse walks by the bed and says to Amanda, good morning, pineapple. And she giggles. And Kyle says, oh, that's all you have to do to make her smile in the morning? Holy shit.
You could also not say, fuck you, you fucking dumb bitch. That also could get her to smile in the morning.
Yeah.
Consider that. It's not just the word pineapple. It's actually the setup from the night before, which is that guy didn't call her a dumb fucking bitch.
Or tell someone, I need you to come home with me and not go out as much as you do for years and years and years. This is my request on refrain, on repeat. But you don't do that. But then it's on your timeline and you decide you want to spend the summer with me. And I'm just supposed to be like, oh, okay, great. Okay, let's do it. And then Carl comes in and starts dancing this really unattractive little jig. Kyle tries dancing too and says, I tried that. And she just says, get away from me. Carl says, well, maybe you just need to add the arm.
And that is like Carl's Al-Anonism in the house of like, but just try this. Anyways, let's not talk about anything. Bye. We're going to the gym.
So we cut to Mia and Sierra in Sierra's bed. And Mia is telling Sierra she's so glad that Sierra brought up the conversation about race last night at dinner. It was really needed. And Mia really appreciates everyone in the house holding space and not interjecting and not saying, oh, I know what that feels like, because you don't. And it's not like we can say this conversation is going to change the way we look at things and everyone else is in the world, because it's not. But at least the people we live with can acknowledge it, and that's important. I love them. And in her confessional, Sierra says, in this house, we're not just meeting up once in a while, filming a scene, and then going home. We're actually living with each other. And I think I'm just at the point where if I'm going to have white friendships in my life, if I'm going to have white relationships with people, and I'm going to consider them my close friends, then we need to have honest and candid conversations about what I'm going through. And it's uncomfortable. Race is uncomfortable. It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable topic. But it's also, and I loved that she said this, but it's also uncomfortable for me to have to keep it to myself. I had chills just even saying those words right now, just reading her quote.
I love that. It was so honest and so specific and so just invaluable. She deserves to be close with the close people in her life. And you always say to me when I call you with something that I think is like shameful or embarrassing or inexcusable or whatever, and you say like, it's an honor to be your friend. Like, it's a privilege to love you. And like, I feel like Sierra deserves to hear things like that too. Like discomfort. It's an honor for me to sit in discomfort with someone.
Yeah.
Because you trust me enough to like, let me be there with you while you don't have it all figured out and it's not peaceful yet. Like, that's such a
It's a privilege.
It is.
It is a privilege. It is a privilege. And I am so happy for Ciara that she loves, respects, and regards herself as much as she does to know, like, I have to be honest about my discomfort in the world. I love this whole scene. So Mia tells Ciara that her saying something made her and KJ feel seen. And then they both, all Ciara has to do is just say, KJ. And they're both just like, did exactly what you and I just did, like hold our hearts and get this look on their face like, oh, we love you, KJ.
And Ciara goes, I'd kill for him.
Yeah.
You know, it's so cute.
It's so cute. And I feel the same. I don't know this kid. He doesn't know me. I really love his earnestness and his honesty and his vulnerability. It's so fucking compelling and intriguing.
And then we get like the polar opposite experience of a friendship conversation as Amanda tells Lindsay about her night before with Kyle. Lindsay slept through the whole thing. And Amanda says, well, it was bad. Like he was calling me names and I cried 3 times last night and I can't remember the last time I cried. And Lindsay just goes, She just sort of, I'm like, dude, your friend of all these years just told you something like pretty profound and all you can do is kind of like nod through a wince. I was like, well, that's nothing. Go on, girl, give us nothing. Yeah. And Amanda says, you know, like she understands that Kyle is stressed about Loverboy, but she's never treated Kyle badly when she was going through her own stuff, her depression and whatever various other life stressors have happened in her life because she's a grown-up and being a grown-up is stressful. Being a kid is stressful. It's just, you know, you get a lifetime to learn how to manage it. And Kyle bailed out on learning how to manage it. He's just not going to manage it. He's going to make it everyone else's fault.
Mm. So we cut to Ciara telling Mia what Mia missed last night when she went to sleep and that she feels so over the way Kyle talks to Amanda. And she shares that her gut reaction is Amanda cannot have kids with him. And Mia asks Ciara, what do you think is keeping them together? And Ciara just says, bitch, I don't know.
Which is so all of us.
Yes, so all of us. And so back to Amanda and Lindsay. Amanda is trying to shake off the night before. And she says in a really like sarcastic, saccharine voice, but it's his birthday today. We're going to have to make it a great day. Smiles all around. And all Lindsay can say is, legitimately, you're so good at compartmentalizing. And Amanda says, I have to.
And I would just suggest that like compartmentalizing is not like a skill
it's
to be
not
praised
goals.
necessarily.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it has its place. Like
for
in
sure.
work, you want to check your personal life at the door and like come in and do your job and whatever. But like when it comes to like compartmentalizing within your marriage feels like dangerous ground. But Lindsay's like, good for you for just cutting it. And oh God. Anyways.
Ugh. Everyone starts setting up for the party, and KJ and Lindsay are unloading groceries in the kitchen, and Lindsay asks KJ if he's excited that Dara's coming, and she's kind of like quasi-pumping him for details. It's
she
like
knows what she's doing. She came
very
in
manipulative.
to deliver this
yes.
gossip and ruin his day. But it actually turned out to bring Dara and him closer, thank God, in the end. But, you know, she's such a, talk about a see you next Tuesday. This moment, I was like, get out of here.
She's very sick. She's very sick. I feel for Lindsay. I do. And I'm also annoyed by her. And she's asking weird shit. It was staggering to me that Lindsay couldn't stop to think for a second that KJ and Dara's relationship is going smoothly and without drama and everything's on the up and up. So she's like, is one of you more invested than the other? I would never think to ask somebody, well, what do you think? Do you think that they like you more than you like them or vice versa? But that's what Lindsay is trying to get at. It was wild.
She basically, I feel like she was saying like, if that dynamic doesn't already exist, I have information that will make it happen. Here, Bailey said that Dara, the person that you really like and you think it's mutual, she went into Ben's room for an hour and came out wearing different clothes. And KJ is like completely thrown by this. And Lindsay goes, oh no, did I put you in your head? And he's like, yeah, probably. Like the way she said, oh no, and now you're in your head about it. It sounded like she was proud of herself.
She sounded full of glee almost.
I mean, and that is where I do worry about the direction of reality TV is like reality TV stars are now producing the show internally by doing shit like this. And someone like Lindsay has quickly lost sight of the fact that KJ is a young man, a human person. And doing this it just felt like cruel and unusual to me. I was just like, just let this play out. You don't have to get in here and stir shit up. You don't have to wear zebra stripes to provoke Carl. You don't have to like mess with a young kid's head in his first summer as the first Black male cast member ever on summer. Like, why him, you old white hag? Like, sorry, but like, it's not a dynamic we can't ignore after the scene that just happened before. It was I was really mad about it and uncomfortable with it and really pissed off on KJ's behalf of like that. All of this was unnecessary. You sent that boy into a whole panic attack. And on camera, it's cute. It's 2 deep breaths and a timestamp. In real life, a panic attack is scary, time consuming. For me, it, brings up embarrassment and shame and exhaustion. And like she sent him into that by saying this. I'm mad. She and Ben need a long time out.
Oh my God. They need some therapy. They need some therapy. So, yeah, Lindsay's fully in his head and he starts asking Lindsay to fill him in. And Lindsay says, well, according to Bailey, Dara went into Ben's room. They were in there for an hour. And we see the flashback of Bailey telling Lindsay, Dara went into Ben's room in one outfit and came out in another. And I'm all, yeah, bitch, because she was going to fucking ride the jitney home after the Ren Fair party and didn't want to go home in some sort of like Ren Fair tunic.
But
so she put on some traveling clothes.
Bailey didn't say it in any like salacious way. Like, again, Bailey is coming at this from like, I'm going to get over Ben because, he invited a different girl into his room. Whether anything happened in there or not, I'm going to get over Ben. Lindsay takes that and twists it into this, which throws KJ into a spiral. Like, it's just so mean. Honestly, it's mean spirited and it doesn't.
She had no good
on
intentions
Bravo.
by that. She had no pure intentions. And KJ tells Lindsay, I didn't know about her going in his room. And she's like, oh, God, I'm sorry. You're probably going to be in your head about it. And he's like, yeah, I am. And you fucking probably know this about me. And you did it anyway. He didn't say that. That was my editorial. But like,
he didn't know. He just was in his head.
Poor
like
thing,
you could feel
dude.
the ache and the pain starting to descend on him. And that broke my heart. And KJ then says in his confessional, I'm already anxious about her coming to the house and making sure she's having a good time and feeling included, which I thought was so sweet.
So sweet.
And then I'm being reminded of the party where I already felt jealous of Ben, which again, he's just so straightforward and honest. And he says, like I said, I'm a very honest person. And if she wasn't being honest about that, then it's like, what else are you hiding? So nothing, dude. Lindsay's just a monster. And anyone who is Team Lindsay and the Carl Lindsay breakup, like,
I don't
this
get
is
that.
how she acts. Like, she likes this. She gets off on manipulating people. She's in PR. She's made a career out of it.
Oh, wow. That's so true. It's so true.
You change how people think with the way you do your job. And here she is doing it on the most like tender mark ever.
Yeah, honestly. So in the backyard while they're setting up, KJ tells Carl and Kyle what Lindsay just shared with him. And Carl tells them, listen, when 2 people in the house have some sort of relationship going on, it becomes fodder and vigor for the whole house to discuss. And that's hard, especially with you being so new, KJ. And I was all, vigor? What's vigor? What do you think he was trying?
I think it energizes them. It's gossip. People love talking about other people.
Okay. I was like, vigor?
Yeah, I think it's just that whole thing of like, people like to talk about other people. I'm going through a real phase in my life where I don't enjoy gossip and I don't even like being like the invitation to start talking shit. I don't think talking shit is cute and fun anymore. Maybe again, it's because of the state of it's not a sport anymore. It's what's running the country is talking shit. And it's too dire and sad and like I'm over it. And
I see that.
This is what it does. When you gossip and talk shit, it's not a victimless crime. You send KJ into this spiral. And then as you note here, Kyle's only advice is just tune it out. It's like, oh my God, the difference between Kyle saying just tune it out and the conversation KJ later has with Sweet Sierra and Mia.
Yeah.
2 people are human and one is an addict. So
100%.
you guys decide.
100%. So Ben, Jesse, and West are in Shay's lounges just sunning themselves while Amanda has been like verbally asking anyone in any space that she walks into, hey, will you help me set up? There's tons of shit everywhere. Let's get decorating. But they're chatting.
I do feel like the producers may have had a say in this.
Very
they're like,
fair.
I need you guys to have this conversation away from Amanda. Stay in these chairs. And she's like, you guys. And I feel like they're like, sorry, but we're at work.
So Ben asks Jesse, who, you know what's funny is that last week's episode was a very Jesse light episode. I don't remember him at all really being in the episode. And then the previous night, I guess he went to bed. I also didn't notice, but I was like, oh, great. Now I know. I don't care if Paige isn't there, and I don't care if Jesse isn't there. So Ben asks Jesse, did you hear about last night? And Jesse tells him West came in, yes, and he was pretty perturbed when he came upstairs. And West says, perturbed? That's a big word. And I was all, is perturbed a big word, West? Is it?
For
Is
Jesse.
Yeah. So Sierra joins them, and Ben tells her we're discussing last night, and Sierra is disgusted when West shares that Kyle said, Amanda gave me fuck you eyes. And Jesse asks if anyone's talked to him about it this morning. And West says, I asked Amanda if I should ask him if Kyle even remembers what happened. And she's told me not today for the birthday party. Just leave it alone. Which, partly very sane and very rational, because we all know that nothing good can come of it in a quick conversation before 100 people show up to record this party. But also, I'm sure a large percent of that decision and direction from her part is like, I can't deal with this today. We're not going to deal with this today. We're not going to deal with this.
But isn't it interesting how, like, that is the tactic I used to do of, like, let's just not talk about it. But look what happens at the rest of the party. Everyone talks about it.
Everyone talks about
when
it.
When something with that much gravity happens, you don't compartmentalize, Lindsay. Normal people have integrated emotional experiences. And watching Kyle say, fuck you to Amanda last night cannot be lifted out of your human experience and put in a locker for 4 hours. It's just, it affects you because you're a whole human being who cares. So, yeah.
So Sierra says Amanda's going to put on a face after he cursed her out last night. And she doesn't know how she does that because if she's pissed, everybody knows. And Wes says, we know, but he
West
laughed.
And Jesse.
West and
both
yes.
are like, we know.
And they say it with like tenderness, but like also like, yeah, Sierra, you don't have to say that. And I just looked at Josh and I was like, am I the same? And he's all, yeah. And I just wanted to see what he'd say.
But I love it. Yeah, but I love it. As she said, there's no gray area. Like you're never unsure of where you stand with me. And I prefer to have people like that in my life. And then Ben tells him that he went to see Kyle at the Loverboy offices and he didn't realize it, but Kyle's personally on the hook for Loverboy for millions of dollars. Kyle personally guaranteed a $4 million loan, which is insane, back when Loverboy was doing well. But he has $2.1 million left on the loan. And if Loverboy tanks, he's bankrupt. And again, that's very stressful and ego crushing and everything. However, don't say fuck you to your wife after dancing around a Bluetooth speaker wearing a Burger King crown.
Right.
You're insane. I would almost be able to stomach him having an outburst at the Loverboy offices with the banker saying, sorry, dude, you're going to have to file for bankruptcy. It's over. Almost, maybe, but not at the summer house. Summers are fun, Kyle. Remember? Mm-hmm. You yelled that. Ugh. And Wes said he talked to Kyle about Loverboy too. And then we get another scene of West seated across from Kyle, who's like, yeah, Loverboy's really fucking tanking. And he has about 6 months cash reserves to keep the business afloat. But again, I don't know if I believe Kyle. Like, again, I have workaholics in my life who are catastrophizers. They're always like, everything's going to go to shit. I'll never work again. It's hopeless. The economy's tanking. Everything's going to die. I don't know. Where did you come up with the 6 month figure? You said you're meeting with the bankers later. So where did that come from? Your own fucking panic and self-centeredness and, I have it worse than anyone. My business is failing more than anyone. Guess what, Kyle? Bankruptcy has existed. You're not the first one to file. They didn't invent it for you. And as far as I
Ask
know,
the president.
he hasn't filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So like you're making it work. Like again, the drama around a personality type like Kyle is exhausting. Because
Exhausting.
he's always got the highest stakes in the room. Whatever is going on in your life doesn't fucking compare because I guaranteed a $4 million loan. I'm 2.1 in the hole. My wife talks shit about me. I have all the stress. So anything you're going to say is not relevant to this conversation because if you can't match 4 mil, you got nothing. Like that's the attitude I take. Because I didn't hear Kyle ask shit about West or Ben. I still don't know what the hell Ben does, but at least he doesn't yell "fuck you" at Amanda. The bar is low.
I mean, we can see how Kyle feels about soft bar from the dinner conversation. Like he's the expert. He knows what he's doing. I have a feeling that from the looks of soft bar's Yelp reviews, it seems like people are real fucking stoked on that place. And I have a feeling it's going to be a successful endeavor for Carl.
I hope so. I hope Loverboy is successful. Here's what in life nobody knows, least of all Kyle. So stop condemning Soft Bar. Stop telling us that you're the first person to invest in your own company and have it go under. The only business owners I know have 15 failed attempts before the one that I know them for. So like, you're so special, Kyle, that your first shot out of the gate should be the winner. Just, again, humble yourself, sir. Be a human being. Like, learn something from this experience. Simple lesson, don't invest, don't guarantee 4 million unless you're sitting on it. I don't know. I have no patience for him, obviously.
And Ben tries to say that he knows it's not an excuse, but figures Kyle's every thought at the moment is if Loverboy is bankrupt, I'm bankrupt also. You need to surgically separate these two things. It doesn't fucking matter. Yes, he might be extra stressed. Doesn't mean that it's okay to say what he said.
And everybody has something like that you could. So
Everybody.
Then we just slot in his only thought must be, my parent just died. His only thought must be whatever. Like everybody has something always. And the whole point of being an adult is making the choice to be a kind person and manage your stressors, and Kyle is so juvenile. He made a commitment to marry another adult person and he is showing up as a whole 6-year-old having a tantrum.
So, and what Sierra says is like, okay, well, whose fault is that? If Loverboy's bankrupt and he's bankrupt, whose fault is that? There's always an excuse. There's always something. And Wes says there's no excuse for how he treated her last night. And Ben says we can all agree on that.
Can we, Ben? I
Yeah,
hope so. I
know,
hope you finally turn the corner on that one.
know.
And again, I love Wes' clarity. I don't think I've ever heard the kid more articulate in his life.
No.
He just says there's no excuse for how he treated her last night. Normally he's like, and like abbreviating words and being cute. And this, he's just like dropped into a whole new realm of his personality where he's like, no, period.
I liked it. That's his red line. He's like, I don't give a fuck what it is. There's no, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And Sierra shares with them, in her opinion, they should separate. This summer feels different. It feels different this time. It feels like people are hitting their breaking point. They don't have to legally separate, but they're so in each other's faces all the time that it's clear they resent each other. So why wouldn't you take a beat, separate for a minute, get your bearings, and see if that actually does help? Then you can communicate and talk properly about the things you actually have issues with.
Oh, Sierra, those wellness retreats have really paid dividends. She's so wise.
She really is. She really is. I'm glad she says it. She's extremely honest. And that's what draws me to Sierra. That's what draws me to KJ. That is what draws me to Carl. I know where they stand, and that makes me feel safe, number one. Number two, they're very clear. Whereas West, you're like, oh, dude, when he says some things, you're like, oh, man, just can you give me something give me something concrete. Don't give me a wet noodle. He is absolutely giving you concrete with how he is like, I don't give a fuck what is going on. Who's got a proverbial gun to Kyle's head? Not okay. And it really elevated my opinion of West. And I can see what he's capable of.
And you see why Sierra fell in love with him. Like, I believe these are the kind of conversations that she was referencing last week, where she was saying our relationship is much deeper than anyone knows. And we see Party West, or we have until this episode, where we see a more dimensional version of this man who's actually
Yeah.
like pretty impressive.
Yeah. And he seems like, I'm like, oh, Wes is going to be a great fucking dad. He's probably going to be a great husband once he wants to settle down.
If he wants to, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
if
he'll
he
just
wants
be
to.
a good
Right.
advocate in the world for people who, like he just has a real clear sense that
I
that's
agree.
valuable as much under a roof as it is in a workplace, as it is out in public at large. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was nice to see.
Yeah. Because Kyle has struck me as a selfish person since I started watching this show.
He is, but I thought he would grow out of it.
I did
10
too.
years ago, I was like, oh God, this party boy, like, in 5 years, he'll start to see that this isn't a way he wants to continue on as an adult. Whoops. He's now a DJ wearing an Imperial Margarine crown.
Oh my God, dude.
Oopsies.
Carl has absolutely had, like, he's grown. He's evolved. Amanda has evolved. Sierra has evolved. West is evolving. Jesse, not so much. Ben, absolutely not. Bailey, evolving. We've only seen her for 8 weeks. I'm excited to see more.
Dara seems great.
KJ came fully fucking evolved. Mia, absolutely same. And it's like, Lindsay, stunted. Kyle, stunted. Jesse, stunted. I know who I want to see more of. I know who I miss when they're not there. Anyway.
So now Dara arrives and she enters and KJ is like in the fridge putting groceries away and he doesn't even turn. He just goes like, I know who that is. Hold on. So you can just sort of start to, like, I immediately sensed I got a pit in my stomach, a sympathetic anxiety pit in my stomach. And Dara then enters and greets Kyle, who appeared to say Casey is in the kitchen. And I was like, Kyle, it's KJ. Like, yikes. Are you drunk? I don't know. Dara goes in to ask KJ if she can help him put groceries away. And he very sweetly says no. And he'll help her take her stuff upstairs. But then, and this to me is another signal of anxiety, he couldn't get the fridge to close. Like for me, when I'm anxious, I'm not thinking straight. There was a milk carton blocking the hinge of the fridge. Like, of course it's not going to close.
Bless.
But when I'm anxious, I don't see that. Everything is a blur. Everything's loud. There's only the sound of rushing water in my head. I don't have thoughts. It's just noise. And I was just immediately, I was like, oh God, I feel for this boy. It's all happening. It's coming. It's just coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in his confessional, he says, I'm trying to pretend to Dara that everything's all good, but inside I'm just freaking out. And he goes, I suck at lying and I can feel like she can tell, that he's holding something back. And I love that. I love that he read that in her. It indicates something good about her, some empathy and compassion. And I don't know. I'm hopeful for those two. I really like their relationship.
I do too so far. I absolutely do too. So upstairs in KJ's room, Dara's like, oh, am I staying in your room? And he says, if you'd like. And she's like, I would like. And KJ says, I'll just put your bags up here for now.
Which made me sad because like he is now in his head thinking Dara is here to get close to Ben. So he's like, do you want to stay in my room? And she's like, of course I do. And he's like, well, I'll put your stuff here for now, but you can go fuck Ben if you want. Like, I don't know. Why are you here? Like, he's so...
You think that like, he was setting himself up to have less disappointment and hurt later by like, okay, that could be a possibility.
Or just trying to get ahead of it if that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they both head downstairs and Dara goes outside, but KJ hangs back to check on the fridge situation, as he says. And then the editors leave in a sigh, but it's that shallow breath, like kind of wavering sigh. And like, oh, that's a panic attack. Like it's coming. Mm-hmm. And we sort of watch the whole evolution of his little panic attack through this episode.
Pobrecito.
I know.
Yeah.
I just feel for him. I've been there, man. So Dara's in the backyard greeting everyone. And when she greets Ben, he says like, cheers or something. And she's like, oh, I forgot you were Australian. And I was like, okay, KJ, you do not have anything to worry about. He made zero impression on her. And then Jesse, I don't know, again, he only had like 2 lines this episode and I hated them both. And this was one of them where he goes, I never forget he's Australian. there's nothing he's ever said where I'm like, oh, he's normal. I'm like, shut up, Jesse.
Normal? How
You're not
gross.
normal. You weirdo crooner, old fashioned pants waist. You know, he wears his pants up at like the Frank Sinatra place on his waist. It just bugs me. He bugs.
Tan pants.
Get out of here.
Oh, God. So then Kyle goes in the kitchen while KJ's still in there, and KJ just bails out. The panic attack is upon him, and he needs space, especially from someone as unsafe, unreliable, and unpredictable as Kyle Cook.
Who literally would probably tell him, like, just stop. Get over it.
Yeah,
you know, if he was like, I'm having a panic attack. Yeah.
Tune it out.
Yeah,
Go work out. Go work out.
Right?
Go eat
for
a
job.
fucking piece of cold chicken breast.
Thanks, Dad.
Idiot.
And then KJ heads outside under the guise of putting stuff in the outdoor trash can. And he steps away from the cameras and we hear him taking deep breaths. And like you and I both know those deep breaths. Those are the like trying to regulate your nervous system. The panic attack is happening and it's just time to ride it out. For me, I just try not to feed into it and make it worse. Like it's already happening. So I just try to surrender and just like let my system freak out until it can come back down to earth.
Yeah, pobrecito. So Kyle and Carl are in the kitchen. They're cleaning, and Kyle says, I'm in a little bit of a weird mood.
Kyle says, I just keep overthinking things. And Carl goes, story of my life. And Kyle doesn't even acknowledge that Carl has said anything. And he goes, just letting like my happiness get hijacked. Which is, I mean, that's real. You know, that's the whole manufacture your own misery thing. You are letting your happiness get hijacked. So I wish you'd, again, look into that. And he goes, I don't even remember what set me off. And Carl, I think, does, because he just goes, I don't know, and like tries to move it along. And Kyle goes, I mean, I kind of know, but I don't want to talk about it.
No shit, Sherlock.
Honestly, like, nobody does. And then Kyle just really spun me out. He has a confessional where he goes, I'm like the worst version of myself this summer. And I was like, is this different? I've never seen a better version of Kyle. So I don't know what you're seeing. And he says, I'm not able to articulate everything. And this made me feel crazy the way he phrased this. And I give Amanda these perfect instances where I mess up or I storm off or I say F you or I stay out late. And it's like, you give them to her? Like, you did those things. That's who you are. Look at all the things you just listed. Like, that's not her doing. That's who you are. And he goes, and meanwhile, there's like so many fundamental things that are wrong with the foundations of our relationship. And I'm just unrelatable. And I just wrote here that 12-step concept of being terminally unique.
Completely.
Sure, Kyle, you're the only one who's ever had trouble in your marriage and a difficult business season. Okay, you're the only one. Like, no one understands what I'm going through. Carl literally just said, story of my life in response to you. So that's not true. And he goes, it's very isolating. It makes me feel like I should just give up the drama. And then he goes, but I've got so much invested in my marriage and my business. That just doesn't seem like an option. I'm just trying to hold on. And then he sort of like stares out into the middle distance. And I was like, my God, it's like a bad monologue. It's just none of it feels grounded in humanity or reality or adulthood or truth, or it's just this weird, like you said, story.
It's his story. And there's no gratitude anywhere for any of his circumstances at all.
You're right.
He is extremely typical privileged white dude in this instance. Like, you know, he's a Bravo celebrity. He's well known. He's a DJ. I've said it so many times. You know, he has a successful business, whether or not it's okay, it's struggling, but it's there. It has a presence. Opportunity is at his fucking feet. And it's been there for the last 10 years, ever since I've known him. He is the one that is contributing to any of the misery that he has around him. He doesn't see what he has. It's so gross. I am repelled by this person. And he's just making it worse.
He is, but that's like, I think misery gives him, as Carl would say, his vigor. Like, I don't think Kyle knows who he is if he were to calm down, take a deep breath, and be
absolutely
grateful.
Not.
I don't think he knows how to do that. And I don't think he wants to know. I think he thinks that's for weak people. That's for idiots like Amanda. That's for dumb bitches.
That's exactly right.
Not for real guys.
He is such like a doer. He's just it's all output, 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 output. He is extremely stereotypically American alpha male capitalist productivity bullshit that I fucking hate.
I don't even mind it if you can be a decent person while you do it. There's a lot of big money makers who are decent people and, give big portions to the arts or fun things they care about, whatever. It's possible to achieve at that level and be kind.
Yeah. No,
But
absolutely. But
yeah.
like he's like, working out, regimented eating plan, don't have piles, take the meetings, wear those fucking dumbass shirts and hats that say live free or die. Like he doesn't know what the fuck live free or die means. He knows how to be like that gross, toxic, masculine energy doing. He's gross. Anyway, who fucking cares? Who cares? I'm not saying anything new. So Sierra, Mia, and KJ are chatting in the backyard, and Sierra lets them know that she is bringing out her alter ego, Karma Brown. She's returning to the party, and they were not on the show at the time when she first debuted Karma Brown, and we see flashbacks of Karma debuted as a young, vibrant character at a costume party 3 years ago, and tonight she's going to be old Karma for Kyle's birthday party. And KJ reports that he had a panic attack. He's spiraling a bit about the conversation at dinner last night and the warnings to be careful and take it slow in regards to his relationship with Dara. And again, all those motherfuckers who are talking to him about taking it slow are projecting. I guess I can kind of draw a comparison to my own, relationship/marriage, but I don't even know if I have to do that. To me, it's never seemed like it's going too fast. These people, Dara and KJ, for all intents and purposes, for everything I've seen, from what I've seen of them today, it seems like they both showed up as their authentic selves, honest from the jump, honest about their feelings for each other from the jump. If that's what's going on, I don't think that's too fast. Maybe for someone like Lindsay, who doesn't ever show up like that into a relationship, maybe that's too fast. People like Lindsay and Kyle, they go by timelines. They don't go by authenticity. Does that make sense?
100%. And that dinner was full of a lot of things. They were, Jesse was like, I went too fast.
And
then
comparing
everyone else
Jesse to
was
KJ is like,
well, I don't
dude.
think they were. I don't think they were comparing those two men.
I hope
not.
Jesse wasn't doing that because that is absolutely out of bounds.
No, because remember, Jesse didn't even want to cop to the fact that he moved too fast.
Yeah.
He was like, whatever. Anyways.
He's Lexi who? Right.
He also got all that information about it'll be blown up in the press. Then they talked about interracial dating. And it just seemed everything that was spoken about at that dinner seemed really fraught, know? And I love Sierra for saying, that she understands how KJ would be apprehensive about bringing a girl in the house after all of those conversations last night.
Yeah.
But KJ enters that part of the conversation by saying he knows that feedback was given from a place of care, but he's in his head about it and he can't let it go. And he says, I'm trying to stop something before it has started because I'm like protecting myself because I do like her.
Can't get more. That's it. That's it, Kyle. That's what honesty looks like. That's what vulnerability looks like. That's fucking it, West. That's it. That's it, Jesse. That's it, Ben. That's it. That's it. You have to show up and just say, I don't fucking know. That's it. I don't know. And it's so empowering to say it and to watch it and to be friends with it.
And to just be in touch with the truth of what's going on. Like, oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm trying to stop something. And I was like, oh, anyways, he's lovely.
Extremely aware. Yeah, extremely aware. Mm-hmm. And so Sierra shares with KJ that she uses that Tennyson line as a mantra. It's better to have loved and lost to have never loved at all. I mean, she's right. It's true.
I love that poem. I really love that poem. And I think it is true. I wouldn't trade any of my experiences being in love for all of the pain that came with those relationships ending. It is worth the price of admission.
Absolutely.
And in her confessional, Sierra says no one understands better than her what KJ's feeling as he enters potentially into an interracial relationship in the summer house on TV as a Black cast member. And she says in her confessional, you cannot do things out of fear. You can't not do things out of fear. The other side wins if you do that. She's not wrong. And Mia very sweetly reminds KJ that she and Sierra are very much here for him. And KJ's whole posture changes and he goes, I know. Like just so certain in the support he has under that roof. And again, they've only known each other for like 4 weekends. And he's like, oh, I just love them.
Yeah.
And then Sierra tells us about what she's learned on these wellness retreats she's taken to Costa Rica, and she leads them in a little breathing exercise and has asked KJ just to be present and feel the wind in his wave cap. And he does. And then they all hug and say, I love you. And then they head their separate ways. And look at that. That is the arc of the panic attack. Lindsay set it on. He got stuck in the refrigerator, short of breath. He had to go to a few places to catch his breath. He sat down and told the truth, and that which is shared loses the power of terror over us.
Yes,
and here
it does.
we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved it.
I did too. So then we have a makeup artist named Nina showing up to do Kyle's old man glam, and Amanda is just in full worker bee mode, acting like the perfect, peppy, unbothered wife. Gnarly. Matt and Katie arrive. They're Kyle and Amanda's friends. Amanda greets them again as the perfect wife and hostess. If you learn anything out of an alcoholic dynamic, it's how to be an Oscar-winning actor. You get real good at it, and it convinces you and the rest of the world everything's fine, nothing to see here, we're great. And that's why when the shit hits the fan and everyone starts to figure out what's really going on, people often look at you with wide eyes and go, I had no fucking idea. So it's exhausting being you do a lot of things in an alcoholic dynamic. It's real tiresome.
And then we are with Carl and Jesse, who are sitting while Kyle gets his glam done. And this made me laugh that Carl admits that his green Crocs are a cry for help. So I go from that sweet giggle to Kyle going, my cries for help come out at weird times of night in the worst possible way. So there's that. And everyone is just, again, in total silence, sitting absolutely still. Amanda has entered. Kyle can't see her, but she's like squatting on the floor, collecting shit in total silence. Like it just was, oh God. It's again, that alcoholic household dynamic of like, we've been told not to talk about this, but like, is that enough? What Kyle said, that's not enough. So should somebody say that kind of flippant comment is not going to cover what the hell went on last night, dude, but we're just agreeing not to talk about it today? I don't know. It's so uncomfortable. Everything's so uncomfortable.
It's so inappropriate, and so it sucks the air out of the fucking room, and it's not at all accurate about anything. Again, just that like it's that like not secondhand embarrassment, but yeah, I guess like secondhand embarrassment. Like Kyle, stop, dude. Just like stop. So everyone knows they're not supposed to talk about this today, but also what Kyle just said was so like flippant and casual, not addressing in any meaningful way, him saying fuck you to his wife and calling her a dumb fucking bitch. And everyone knows that it happened. Oh God, I feel for everybody in this house at that time.
Then we're up in KJ's room and he finally lays it out with Dara. And he says, today's weird vibes, be honest. And Dara just says, oh, I hate hearing that you're in your head, but it's not bad. If that's what's going on, that's okay, which I also loved.
Loved it.
She didn't say like, don't be like that. It's part of, she's like, tell me what's going on.
Tune it out.
Oh, please.
Exactly.
And he's so cute. He goes, do you want to know why it happened? That he's up in his head. And she says, yes. And he explains that he heard from Lindsay that Bailey was talking about how last time Dara was visiting the house, she was in Ben's room for an hour. And Dara just flat out says that didn't happen. And she says, I would have no problem saying if that was true, but she just went in there to change out of her dumb Ren Fair costume and to store her bag. And KJ says, lets her in on, he's been having some really crazy thoughts, worrying that maybe Dara is just maybe using him to get into the house so she could actually pursue Ben. And I loved Dara for answering that by saying, that's not even crazy, because at this point, I would probably have anxiety if I thought you liked someone else also. And I was like, oh.
I loved it.
And KJ apologizes and says, I didn't want you to think I was being hella distant when you got here. And Dara, again, in real time, just processing everything and goes, no, I get that you were trying to process that. But genuinely, the person I had an interest in was you. Huh? And KJ just goes, I'm glad we talked about this. And that's it.
That's
Lindsay, you fucking monster who tried to erupt some huge dramatic blowout fight in literally 2 pages of dialogue written out. These two darling, loving, evolved, honest human beings worked through all of it.
Yeah, Jesse. It took 30 seconds.
Exactly.
West. It took 30 seconds, Ben. And it wasn't, look what happened. No one died. No one shed blood. No one scratched the surface of skin. No one came out.
In fact, they're
Hurt.
better for it,
Better
I would
for
say.
it. 30 seconds.
And the only person who might be in trouble is Bailey, because Dara is clearly pissed that she thinks Bailey was gossiping and starting shit. I still hold Lindsay entirely responsible for this because, again, Bailey was just trying to work her way out of having a crush on Ben.
Yeah.
And basically, they'll have it out next weekend when everyone's there all together since Bailey's away this weekend. And then Dara just asks KJ, "Are you Gucci?" And he goes, "Yeah." And that's it. Onward to the party, baby.
Ay, ay, ay. So everyone comes down in their respective old people costumes. And I got annoyed when I saw Lindsay's. I'm like, of course she had to be like a hot old lady. Like she couldn't just like be like old lady. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. You know what, Ramona? You can't. Like, don't point a finger because 3 are going to be pointing back at you, 4, whatever, if it's your thumb. I'm like, what would I wear if I was an old lady? I would have gone full on Palm Springs, retiree, caftan, spray tan. I would have done some old person makeup. I would not have gone down the road that Amanda went down. So I'm no better than Lindsay in that respect. But Lindsay is a real fucking dick when she says to Carl, "Did you spray your hair gray? Because everyone loved it when you did it 2 years ago." Like, A, what are you doing remembering
So embarrassing.
It's embarrassing and very indicative of where she's at. And she's like, it comes out in this super mean, bitchy way. But as someone, and by someone I mean me, with my coping skills, if I've got the wrong part in the driver's seat, I'm going to say something shitty like that too.
Yeah, but she's so satisfied with herself, but it does nothing.
It does
she's
nothing.
Like, "Do you spray your hair gray? Because everyone loved it when you did it 2 years ago." And Carl goes, "I guess that had something to do with it." And she goes, "Ha ha, I knew it." In this like shrieky thing of like, were you waiting for this? Did you think about, oh, it's an old people party. If he dyes his hair gray, I'm going to say this and everyone will like, what are you doing?
She's sitting at home stewing for the past year, resentful and still feeling humiliated and still
2
personalized her.
years.
2 years for their, oh God, you're right. 2 years
Get
for the end of their
over it.
engagement. Like,
You have a 1-year-old daughter, dude.
I understand heartbreak and I understand the pain, but
I don't believe she was heartbroken
point,
at all.
I think yes, she's working on pure saving face from humiliation. That's all she felt. I don't know if that's all she felt. I'm saying that the way it came across is that she felt humiliated, and she's going to be damned if she's going to let Carl Radke humiliate her. But she is just humiliating herself with little jabs like that. It's not working. It's not doing what you think it's going to work because it was never real to begin with. Saving yourself from being perceived as being humiliated is already I keep saying fool's errand, but it's like it's an exercise in futility because it's not real. It's not real. That's not what happened. So stop trying to like solve a problem that didn't happen.
And also Carl has moved on.
Yeah.
Like he literally like didn't know what you were talking about. It's not like you're living in the past,
I didn't know what she was
Lindsay.
talking about. What
Nobody
she was talking
does.
about. I know if she was to make a jab about his skinny ass white fucking jeans, fine. But I don't remember him spraying his hair gray 2 years ago. I don't know.
These are only things that like a hung up girlfriend, ex-girlfriend remembers. Same with the zebra outfit, which was some loose reference to those animals that used to be in the summer house. And Lindsay and Carl brought the zebra home to their New York apartment with them. I don't think every time Carl sees black and white stripes, he goes, "Lindsay."
No, God.
Honey, it's been so long. Like, oh my God. And then in the kitchen, everyone gathers around the island. And I thought this was cute. Amanda with everyone in their old makeup toast to Summer House season 53. And I thought that was really cute. And then the party starts and the guests arrive. They're all dressed normal, which was so bizarre to see the cast in old people clothes and then just regular old summer people. The camera operators got an amazing shot of the women literally flocking around West like pigeons flock around a piece of bread. They were descending from all angles and touching him and touching his Mrs. Doubtfire boobs. And he literally was screaming, "Consent, guys, consent first." Like everyone was just, it was really, I don't know. Those are the moments where I'm like, well, fame does have its drawbacks. Like people really feel like they can just come on in, race toward you and touch you. Bleh.
Consent, guys. Consent first.
Poor West.
Oh, my God. So Jesse and Wes are talking. Jesse's costume, it was so low effort. It didn't read. It was not, just commit a little bit.
It's what he wears anyway.
Exactly.
And then he like sort of put
And
some
he kind
powder in his stubble.
Exactly. Tried to like make it gray. It was so lame. It was really disappointing. So Wes is praising Sierra's costume.
Which was amazing. She had these like big, fake, low-hanging, long, giant boobs and like the most committed old person face makeup.
Yes.
She looked great.
Speaking of committed, like the way she maneuvers herself backwards on the stairs. She's got her oxygen tank. It was great. I love the way Sierra approaches the costume parties. I really, really do.
And her joy in it when she was getting ready in that little sequence and she has her wig and her old lady face makeup on and then just her like gorgeous body in a bikini before she has her costume on. And she's like looking at her face in the mirror going like, I still got it. Like bouncing around. Like she's so cute. Like she actually gets a kick out of this.
I love seeing her have fun and be free.
Too.
It really is it's such a joy to watch. So Jesse tells West, it's weird that Amanda's treating it like a normal day and kissing on Kyle and being nice. And Jesse shares that he was not expecting Sierra to tell them that she thinks that they should split up. And West says that after knowing these guys for 3 years, there's never been a moment where I felt like I really get why they're together and why they should go the distance. And that was pretty, I don't want to say it was like uncharted territory, but that was a statement. That was
the fuck you was a line in the sand for West and it's done. That's it. There's no membrane there to move through. It's over. So he's like, and now I will say what I've thought all these 3 years. I've never seen a moment where I'm like, those guys should be together.
Right.
It's always been fraught. It's always been terrible. It's always been everybody else's problem. And last night I saw a thing that I'll never unsee and I'll never forgive. And that's fine. I'm fine with it. I love Wes for being like this.
And it's such a sharp contrast because Jesse is like, well, all marriages have troubles. I've seen them kiss or hug sometimes. And West, again, I've never seen this side of him. He just looks out. He just looks at Jesse and gets this like sarcastic tone in his voice like, yeah, that shouldn't be a novelty. That should be the rule, not the exception. And then he tells us, for all of the bad, I want to see more good.
I thought that was so deep. And I'm glad he said that to Jesse, who was like silenced, because it's like there is so much bad and the good only comes when like a Cartier watch enters the conversation. Like it's dark, dude. And the fact that Jesse is like, well, all marriages, it's like, this isn't all marriages. This is abusive. This is a mess. This is not something to back away from. And
yeah,
I'm with West. Team West.
Same.
Suddenly. It's been,
he really,
I never thought
showed
I'd hear
us.
myself say it.
He showed us. And I don't think that he had any time or space to cultivate or kind of like contrive this for us. This
you
was
can tell he's
authentic
legitimately
in him.
Shell-shocked. And it's like, I can't relate to anyone who does not see this as a black and white issue, period. And he says in his confessional, I've witnessed nothing that will ever make up for what she went through last night. And then we get a flashback to Amanda confiding in Wes. There was a time where she thought Kyle was the best she could ever do. And then West continues his confessional saying, also, if I see someone giving a nice fucking gift to someone, it's probably because they're fucking shitty in every other way possible. And then we get an image of the Cartier watch. And Jesse asks if Wes is going to say something. And he says he has to. He cares about them both. They all live together. He needs to speak up. And I can't wait to see it. And I think it leads to what has been teased in all the trailers. Because I think everybody, Carl, West, anybody with a conscience is not going to be able to tolerate Kyle trying to justify what the hell they all saw. And it's on camera.
Yeah.
So like the fact that Kyle isn't like checked into rehab yet is really stressful for me.
I don't see that coming anytime soon.
I know, but we didn't see it coming with Carl either. It takes what it takes. Like I hope there's a redemption arc ahead for this guy. But
I do too.
Not yet.
I do too, dude. Seriously. Oy, oy, oy.
What else did you watch this week?
Let's see. Beverly Hills, again, could not even tell you what happened. Started season 3 of The Gilded Age last week tonight, and whatever the name of the weekly news show is on HBO as well. It's good. Anyway, I'm sure must have been more, but I can't remember what it is now. Oh, I know why we wouldn't want to watch a lot of TV. It's because my friend was in town visiting, so we didn't watch a lot. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. How about you?
I didn't watch a ton of TV either, but I got my standard Bravo shows in. It's so sad. I've really fallen off Beverly Hills, but I'll get back on. I listened to some podcasts that talk about it, so I'm up to speed, but it doesn't sound like anything's happening, if I'm being honest. It sounds like the same conversation over and over again about Amanda writing a book, being in a call. I don't know. I just am like, is this
and Kyle
a
talking
show?
a lot of shit about Dorit. Yeah.
Great.
So it's more of the same. It's very
I'll eventually get
uninspired.
caught up. But I've really been enjoying Below Deck Down Under. And then I've been watching the Southern shows, Southern Charm and Southern Hospitality. And the Southern Charm is now concluded. The reunions happened. Maybe there is one more installment of the reunion. Anyways, Craig's a mess. Again, another person, who like really had a redemption arc when he surrendered substances, and now he's back in bed with them, and man, he is nuts. And yeah, I think that's all I watched. I was having a busy week, and I was stressed, and then opening my phone was not a helpful tool. So I started just watching again. I went to my regular TikTok delights of slip and fall videos and puppy videos. So I really had these like pockets of, and I'm not lying, like an hour at a time. I can watch an hour of 15-second puppy videos. I don't know how, but they're so cute. There was like a compilation of puppies yawning that I watched like, I don't know, 10 times. And it really does something to my nervous system that's useful. So that's where my attention was this week. And what was your antidepressant?
Let's see. One of my dearest friends since high school came to visit for the weekend, and it was extremely therapeutic and healing for her to be here. I really was so grateful. You know, again, everything happens for a reason. It came at the perfect time. Like that was the perfect time for her to come visit. So that was one. My Game Boy continues to be another one. My Tetris cartridge and my Game Boy continue to offer relief and fun and distraction, healthy distraction when I need it. And then again, like I've shared in the past, it might not sound like it's a typical antidepressant, but when I have a moment where I can like finally like cry about something or have like a breakthrough or just like cut through the confusion and the pain and the doubt and actually get clarity. So like more stuff just continues to reveal itself. And this week was a really big, I don't know what kind of word to use it for, but isn't Mr. Rogers the one that said, look for the helpers? Didn't you just say that again, like just a few weeks ago, maybe? Well, the helpers just showed up this week, and I will give myself credit for asking for help. I did ask for help. I just didn't know where the help was going to come from. But when I took people up on their offer for help, because I don't like to do that, I'm like, I don't want to like overstay my welcome. I don't want to ask for too much. I don't want to be too much of a burden. So even if someone looks at me and says, I love you, I'm here for you, how can I help you? It's like it takes me utter misery on like the doorway of just real catastrophic black and white thinking for me to finally say, fucking uncle, I'm asking for help. And then the helpers show up and like help me more than I ever thought that I could be helped. So that was my antidepressant. It did not feel good, but it was an antidepressant. Yeah. So how about you, friend?
That's lovely. My antidepressant this week was, every now and then I have one of these moments or even like weeks or seasons where all of the work, sometimes like going to the gym, going to therapy, sometimes it's like, what am I fucking doing? I'm just doing the same shit over and over again. Is it really helping? And this past week, I had a bunch of professional meetings, and that thing happened where something took over. Everything that I've learned in therapy somehow like assimilated all in one moment. I had my Wes Wilson moment where I was able to be really clear. I was not going to be like taken advantage of. I was able to state what this is actually about and what we need. And in one case, it was met with resistance. And in one case, it was met with like, oh, I had no idea. Let me send you a revised proposal and we'll talk through that next week. And I was like, oh my God. And in the moment, I wasn't trying to do what therapy said. It's not like, I wasn't lifting with my legs because that's what I noted. It's like I suddenly just found myself lifting with my legs. Like I didn't have to think about it. And whatever the self-esteem professional Margie version of that is, like I witnessed it happening and I didn't do anything except show up all these years for therapy. And like it suddenly crystallized and was put into action. And I like myself better than I have in a minute. And it's all fleeting. This too shall pass. But for this week, it felt like, oh, this is how I do want to be a professional from now on. Like the things, there was a professional circumstance years ago now that really shattered my identity as a professional. And it's taken me a while to let that go, rebuild from scratch. And like this week I saw it. I got a glimpse of like, oh, there she is. She's fucking great. She's clear. She's not trying to please. She's just saying what she needs. And it's not fun when it's not received well, but literally 2 days later, it was received with like someone else extending a hand even further than they had in the first place. So like, it's hard for me to believe that is like a possibility. But then in those moments when it happens, it feels important to acknowledge it because it'll fade away again. It's all, everything comes in waves. But last week I saw a like new growth. It's spring. I saw new growth and I was like, I like that plant. Let me nurture her and see what comes up in the next couple months.
I'm so happy for you. And I can see it. It's all over your face. It's totally in your energy. And I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for you. And
Thanks,
I
man.
always had faith that you would.
I know you've seen me through this has been a long ride to define who I am in my profession. And not that it's over ever, but yeah, this felt good.
I'm really, really glad for you, friend. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I had every faith. Yes.
And it's also just a tribute to like staying in it. Like the work is so fucking tedious and painful. And honestly, it felt pointless for a while.
Totally.
And then, like they say, slowly then all at once, So I had one of those all at once moments where I was like, oh God, okay, these things do work. And it wasn't for nothing. And it just took this particular circumstance for me to have a chance to try this out. And that was encouraging.
I'm so glad.
Hooray. Sorry to be so vague, but
No.
the details are actually boring.
I get it.
So
I'll
keep it vague.
And they don't matter for sure.
No, they
for
do
sure.
not.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I realized I should mention,
Oh, yeah,
I'm going
please,
to take
yes.
a hiatus for just me. I'm taking a hiatus for the month of April to tend to some business things that are time sensitive, but we'll have guests and the show will go on. And I'll be back in May. I can't imagine what lies ahead in this season of Summer House. So I'm sure I'll be calling you along the way anyway, just to like process.
Please do. Yes. Yes.
Holy shit.
So I'll be behind the mic solo. I'm hoping to get Josh in, maybe some other guests, but I am absolutely not. I will be here. I will be here every week and talking about these people. I can't wait. Every time the episode ends, I can't wait for the next one to start. So everyone, just take really good care of yourselves this week, whatever that means. Maybe look for the helpers and just know that you are not alone. And when people say they love you and they're there for you, they really mean it. And if it feels like a week or a day or a moment where you feel willing to be able to ask, I promise you it will work out for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. All right, everybody, take real good care, and we'll talk next. Well, I'll talk to you next week.
And I'll talk to you next month.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are
Obviously.
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.